Hello, Java enthusiasts. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we are diving into a super important and powerful concept in Spring Framework, dependency injection. You might have heard this term a lot, and it can sound a bit intimidating at first, but trust me, by the end of this 5-minute tutorial, you will have a clear understanding of what it is, why it is so crucial, and how to use it in your Spring applications. Dependency injection is a core principle for building flexible, testable, and maintainable applications. We will explore the problem it solves, how Spring implements it, and look at practical code examples. So, grab your virtual pen and paper, and let us get started on this exciting journey. First, let us understand what a dependency is. In simple terms, if class A uses class B, then class A depends on class B. For example, a user service might depend on a user repository to save user data. Traditionally, you might create this dependency directly inside your user service like this: private user repository is equal to new user repository. This approach, while seemingly straightforward, leads to what we call tight coupling. The user service is tightly bound to a specific implementation of user repository. If you want to change the repository implementation, or test user service in isolation without a real database, it becomes very difficult. This tight coupling makes your code rigid and hard to maintain or extend. This is the problem dependency injection aims to solve. Now, let us introduce the hero of our story, dependency injection, or D. D is a design pattern that implements a principle called inversion of control, or IOC. Instead of your class creating its dependencies, the dependencies are provided to the class from an external source. Think of it like this: instead of going to the kitchen to make your own coffee, someone else prepares it and brings it to you. In programming terms, instead of user service creating user repository, the user repository is injected into user service. This can be done through a constructor, a setter method, or even directly on a field. This makes user service independent of how user repository is created, leading to loose coupling and much more flexible code. Spring Framework provides an amazing mechanism for dependency injection through its inversion of control container. The Spring IOC container is responsible for creating objects, wiring them together, configuring them, and managing their entire life cycle. You simply tell Spring what dependencies your classes need, and Spring takes care of providing them. The most common way to tell Spring to inject a dependency is by using the @autowired annotation. When Spring sees @autowired on a constructor, setter, or field, it looks for a suitable bean of that type in its container and injects it automatically. Let us see a simple example using @service and @repository annotations to mark our classes as Spring components, and then @autowired to connect them. While using dependency injection, especially with Spring, there are a few common pitfalls to avoid and best practices to follow. A common mistake is forgetting to mark your classes as Spring components using annotations like @component, @service, @repository, or @controller. If Spring does not know about your class, it cannot manage its dependencies. Another mistake is mixing manual object creation with Spring managed injection, leading to unexpected null pointer exceptions. For best practices, Always prefer constructor injection for mandatory dependencies. This ensures that your object is always in a valid state after creation and promotes immutability. Setter injection can be used for optional dependencies. Also, try to inject interfaces rather than concrete implementations for even greater flexibility and easier testing. Fantastic! We have covered a lot in these 5 minutes. To quickly recap, dependency injection is a powerful technique that helps us build loosely coupled, testable, and maintainable applications by having an external entity, like the Spring IOC container, provide dependencies to our objects rather than the objects creating them themselves. We learned about tight coupling, inversion of control, and how Spring uses annotations like @autowired to make dependency injection seamless. Remember, practice is key. Try implementing a simple Spring Boot application with a service and a repository using Constructor injection. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give it a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting Java and Spring tutorials. Keep coding, and I will see you in the next video.